if you read the Gospels, you get to Mark 16, it says, these signs will follow great apostles. These signs will follow Sasha. Sasha, yeah. Andy.
No, it doesn't say that.
No, it says
no one else
these signs
kind
will
of
follow
getting
those.
that,
these signs will follow those that believe.
Yeah.
You know, lay hands, see recovery. So it's a wide open participation pool.
So anybody here can say, I'm in.
Yeah,
I want to do that.
Absolutely.
Have you always done this?
As soon as I saw a meeting where people got healed en masse, in probably year 2000, 2001 at a Bible school, two things happened to me. The first thing was no one ever told me that that's possible, and I felt ripped off. Are you kidding me? That book that says it's alive and active and sharper than any two actually has like power in our present. No one ever told me that. And then two is now that I know it's possible, how much is possible? How much can I dive into? And immediately in that meeting, actually, the guest visitor had people standing up that wanted healing. And my friend that I brought stood up. And I'm like, and then the guest minister says, who wants to pray for him? And I invited him, so I felt obligated that I should be the one to pray for him, even though I was brand new, like 1 minute into this reality that this is possible. And so I'm like, oh man. So the guest minister says, put your hands on him here and here. You'll start to feel your hands get hot. And I'm like, I will? Oh, I do. How did he even know? Like, that guy was a Jedi. And he was, once you experience Jesus' loving kindness, compassion, and gracious kingdom, it's like there's no going back. So anyway, my hands did feel hot. My friend did get touched. His back did feel better. And from that moment on, I've been kind of ruined. And then, I got a couple prophetic words that kind of encouraged me down this road. But it can be frustrating if you have a word and it's not coming to pass. So for me, I was like, I'm going to be intentional. I want to see these words come to pass. I'm going to put some action to these words. And if God's saying this about me, he says it in his word, he says it through people, then I'm going to walk that direction and take opportunity to stop and
So it's not
activate.
a passive thing. Mm-hmm. You're actually intentionally like experimenting, trying it.
Yep, absolutely.
So has it failed?
Yeah, sometimes that's I think that any type of minister or any type of business person, you're going to need persistence, in what you're doing. Some of you may be forerunning something and pioneering something. You're going to need persistence, and so this gift, this type of lifestyle requires persistence too, where you don't give up. But I tell myself, if I pray for them, they don't get healed, but they feel loved, then I win. I win. So if I can just make sure that they are in a better state than when I left, when they first encountered me, love is the answer. Love is what they need, and they often give me that feedback that I felt seen, I felt valued, I feel loved, and hopefully they get healed. And if somewhere they don't get shame from me. They don't get some sort of, you don't have enough faith for this. I don't do that. Yeah.
What about you, Sasha?
I had spent 11, 12 years living a Christian life at the cross. And similar actually, I didn't know that this was possible to this extent. Wasn't in an environment where it was talked about. And then someone came to our environment and started talking about this stuff. But I was actually facing a bit of a quandary because I actually knew this person. So before I joined the ambulance service in the UK, I was a police officer for 7 years. That was my BC years, I call it. I left the police and joined the ambulance service, and I had worked with this person. And he turns up at the church about 11 or 12 years after I met Jesus, and he starts talking about signs, wonders, and miracles, and the things that we could expect to see, gifts of the Holy Spirit. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm in trouble here, because he's not lying and he's not mad. He's telling the truth. And it caused me to have to reevaluate my life as a Christian and reevaluate what I believe to be true. And when you start reading Mark 16 and you get to so lay hands on the sick and they will recover, and it says, these signs will follow those that believe. I'm like, well, I believe, but what do I believe? Because these signs are not following. And I realized that the fault was not on God's part or the word. Actually, there was some sort of disconnect. What do I actually believe? And so it was very simple. I just got before God and I just said, right, I simply choose to believe what you say is true. And from that moment, just started similarly, just experimenting, reading books, going places. The first time I saw something happen was on the street with someone whose knee got better. And, they were delighted. I was delighted on the outside. I'm like, yeah, this is Jesus, this is amazing. Inside, I'm going, oh my gosh, this works. It's like, but the interesting thing is the journey of starting off like that and the experimentation of finding yourself in an environment where this isn't the norm. And then having the challenge of, well, you're doing it here and you're doing it there, but you're not doing it at work. And that was the challenge that I kind of faced. But that's kind of how it started.